Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 starts with this breaking news alert.
We are on breaking news out of East Columbus this morning. A fire engulfing a building in Blacklick. Mike McCarthy just arrived on the scene. What do you know, Mike?
Kurt, we know right now there are two people in a hospital, one of them in critical condition, and there were some really scary moments out here within the last hour when a firefighter, at least one firefighter, became trapped. We just learned within the last 3 minutes that firefighter is okay, was not taken to the hospital, and as we speak, an investigation is underway right now into the cause of this fire. Obviously, that happened right back here in this building. It was an extensive fire. You can see by the extent of the damage, the outside charred, smoke still rising. The situation at this point, though, now under control. We now know that police got a 911 call about an hour and a half ago about this place on fire. It was a neighbor who called for help. The Columbus Fire Department says when they got out here, those two people who were hurt had gotten out on their own, but one person is in critical condition after firefighters say that person is believed to have gotten some significant burns. The other person is less seriously injured. But as firefighters were inside and this fire was intense, they couldn't see well. So much smoke was in there, a lot of flames obviously too. But they also encountered multiple holes in the floor, and that's when some debris came down and collapsed onto at least one firefighter. That created, obviously, Kurt, serious safety concerns. But again, we just learned moments ago from the battalion chief out here, crews were able to get the debris off that firefighter, get that person out, and that firefighter not taken to a hospital. We do not know the names of the two people who were hurt, who were inside this home. As we get more information, we'll continue to keep you updated. The investigation, Kurt, into the cause of this fire is now underway. We're live on your side on this breaking news on the far east side near Blacklick. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 starts with this breaking news alert.
We're following breaking news as we come on the air. An early morning fire on Columbus's far east side sends two people to the hospital. Mike McCarthy live on the scene along Donovan Drive. Mike, what have you learned?
Kurt, within the last minute, we just got an update from the Columbus Fire Department. We can now tell you the two people who were hurt are a man and a woman, and the woman right now is in critical condition. We are also just learning that firefighters are okay after they briefly became trapped right inside this burning unit. That one right on the end, it certainly were some scary moments for fire crews out here overnight. But this all began, one neighbor told us, with a big boom about 2 hours ago.
It was just a loud explosion. We literally had stuff fall. We went out, looked, because we thought it was, a car accident.
Greg Green said he realized that there was a fire just down the street from him on Donovan Drive when he heard all the fire trucks starting to arrive minutes after that explosion. Firefighters say the man and the woman who were hurt were able to get out on their own. The woman is believed to have significant burns. The man was less seriously hurt. They are both right now at OSU Wexner Medical Center. When firefighters were inside, there was so much smoke, the chief says it was tough to see, and they encountered some holes in the floor. And then part of a stairwell collapsed on a couple of firefighters. They were able to get the debris off of themselves and get to safety. They were not taken to the hospital, but that prompted a much bigger response with additional fire crews coming here from nearby suburbs. As we come back out here live, clearly this situation is now under control, and investigators are here trying to figure out how that fire started. We also just learned not only was that end unit damaged where the fire began and obviously burned, but two units next door also had some minor damage. It's not clear exactly what that damage is, and no one else was hurt. But Kurt and Jessica, the Red Cross is coming out to assist those families who may need somewhere else to go because of the damage to their homes as well. When it comes to that explosion, that boom, that is not known just yet what caused that. That is one more thing we're working to learn. We'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the morning. We're live on your side on this breaking news in far east Columbus near Blacklick. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 starts with this breaking news alert.
We are following breaking news as we begin this 6 o'clock hour. Right now, 2 people are in the hospital after a fire on the Far East Side.
And firefighters face some scary moments of their own when part of that home collapsed on top of them. Mike McCarthy live where it all happened. Are those firefighters okay?
Kurt, they are, but a battalion chief out here told me there certainly was a lot of initial concern when they heard that Mayday call come out, as a couple of firefighters were in this burning home overnight searching for anyone who might be inside when part of that home did collapse. At this point, things have quieted down, but there are still firefighters inside because the search at this hour is focused on finding the cause of what started this fire. Smoke and flames filled this unit here on Donovan Drive on the Far East Side just about 3 hours ago. A neighbor told me he heard a big boom, and then he heard the fire truck starting to roll in to that fire. A man and a woman who were in that home got out, but firefighters found her in critical condition. The man was less seriously hurt. They are both now at OSU Wexner Medical Center. When firefighters were inside that home attacking the fire, they encountered holes in the floor, and then part of a staircase fell right on top of them. That's when the Mayday call went out, but the battalion chief says those firefighters did not need rescued or even need taken to the hospital. They were able to get out on their own as well, and the battalion chief credits their training they get for how to handle that very type of dangerous moment.
They're always prepared. We train on that a lot for that moment, and because of the training, it worked out well.
The battalion chief could not tell us what might have caused that big boom heard by neighbors, and there's been no speculation yet on how the fire started. That brings us back out here to our live pictures and the investigation that is underway. We're going to stay in touch with those firefighters, and as we get more information on the search for a cause, we'll continue to keep you updated. Jessica and Kurt, there were 2 neighboring units that did get what firefighters called some minor damage out here. We know the Red Cross is on their way now to help those residents as they try to figure out what they will do next. It's not clear exactly how much damage their homes received. So far, we have no names of anyone involved. We're live on your side on this breaking news in Far East Columbus near Blacklake. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
All right, thanks, Mike. And
Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 starts with this breaking news alert.
We have breaking news this morning. A woman is in critical condition and a man in the hospital after a fire broke out at this home on the Far East Side of Columbus. This is a live look at the scene along Donovan Road right now. The battalion chief says a staircase fell on top of firefighters while they were inside. There was a Mayday call. They were not hurt. Right now, there's no word on what started the fire, and the Red Cross is helping everybody who's been affected there. Mike McCarthy on the scene. He'll give us a live update, all new at 7 on Fox 28. Good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Here's a look at what's still ahead on Good Day Columbus.
We are following breaking news right now on the Far East Side, where a search is underway for the cause of a fire that injured 2 people and made a dangerous close call for firefighters. What happened in that home that trapped a fire crew, and what happened next to get them out to safety?
Plus,
Good Day Columbus on Fox 28 starts with this breaking news alert.
good morning. Welcome to Good Day Columbus on this Wednesday. It's October 18th. I'm Kurt Ludlow.
And I'm Jessica Ralston. We are following breaking news of fire injuring 2 people, leading to a dangerous close call for firefighters.
And Mike McCarthy is live to explain how they were briefly trapped in this burning home. Mike?
Yeah, Kurt, we should point out right away, a battalion chief says those firefighters who were trapped were not seriously hurt, but it certainly was a scary situation overnight when a staircase in this home behind me collapsed on those firefighters. The chief says they were quickly able to respond because of their training, get the debris off of them, and then get out to safety without any serious injuries. That is not the same scenario for the two people who were in this home when this fire began overnight, and where at this point you can see there are investigators inside as the search is underway right now for the cause of this fire. Let's take you back to overnight when thick smoke and flames filled this home on Donovan Drive in the far east part of Columbus. This all began about 4 hours ago. Firefighters found a man and a woman who had been in the home outside when they arrived. They were hurt. The woman is now in critical condition while the man has less serious injuries. They are both at OSU Wexner Medical Center. It is not clear yet how this fire started, but a neighbor down the street told me he heard a big boom minutes before the fire trucks arrived.
It was just a loud explosion. We literally had stuff fall. We went out, looked, because we thought it was, a car accident.
Fire officials have not said just yet what might have caused that boom. Greg Green said he heard. There's been no speculation on what caused the fire, as I mentioned. A couple of neighboring units had what firefighters described as minor damage. The Red Cross has been called to help them. As we come back out here live with these pictures, these investigators have been right there inside that first level room of this home for the better part of an hour now, digging around, sifting through the debris and what is left. As you can tell, there was extensive damage after this fire. We're going to stay in touch with them as the investigation here takes its next step, and we'll update you with what we learn about a cause in the hours moving ahead. So far, Jessica and Kurt, the names of those two injured people have not been released. We're live on your side on this breaking news in far east Columbus near Blacklick. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
Thank you, Mike.
Good Day Columbus on Fox 28 starts with this breaking news alert.
Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Good Day Columbus. Thanks for waking up with us on this Wednesday. I'm Jessica Ralston.
And I'm Kurt Ludlow. We begin with some breaking news this morning. We have been following this since about 4 o'clock this morning. A woman in critical condition, a man in the hospital after a fire broke out at this home on the far east side of Columbus. Now, this was the scene along Donovan Road. The battalion chief says a staircase fell on some firefighters while they were inside, but they were not hurt.
Here's a live look at where the fire began. Right now, there's no word on what started that fire. The Red Cross is now on the way to help those affected. Mike McCarthy is on the scene. He'll give us a live update in the 8 o'clock hour of Good Day Columbus.
Good Day Columbus on Fox 28 starts with this breaking news alert.
We are following breaking news this morning. 2 people rushed to the hospital after an early morning fire.
And there was also a brief scare for firefighters on the scene. Mike McCarthy live now with the up-to-the-minute details. Mike?
Kurt, we can now tell you this morning those firefighters are okay, but certainly there was a lot of concern here overnight when a mayday call went out because a couple of fires wound up trapped when part of the home you see behind me collapsed. Stay with us here as we zoom in for the first time this morning since the sun is up. We can take you inside this burned out condo and show you right there the steps that collapsed and led to a couple of firefighters being briefly trapped right there as flames and smoke were all around them overnight. Let's take you back to those overnight hours and walk you through what we know so far right now. Firefighters responded out here to this fire in the area of Donovan Drive and Mac George Place right around 3 o'clock this morning. One neighbor told me he heard a loud boom and then the fire truck started to roll in. A man and a woman did get out of that burning condo, but firefighters found the woman in critical condition. The man was less seriously hurt. They are now both at OSU Wexner Medical Center. While firefighters were inside searching the unit for anyone else who might be inside, they encountered holes in the floor, and then part of that staircase we showed you collapsed. That mayday call went out, but the battalion chief here on the scene told us those firefighters did not need to be rescued or even taken to a hospital. He credits their training for their quick response and how they handled that dangerous moment.
They're always prepared. We train on that a lot. For that moment, and because of the training, it worked out well.
The battalion chief could not tell us what might have caused that boom neighbors told us they heard, and there has been no speculation yet on how the fire started. As we come back out here with our live pictures, clearly the end unit here where this fire began suffered the most extensive damage. It looks like it is destroyed. But Jessica and Kurt, a couple of neighbors next door, this unit right beside it and the unit beside that, also firefighters told us had some minor damage from smoke they believe, and also from the efforts to contain that fire to the end unit. Guys, the Red Cross has been called in to assist those residents as the search for the cause of the fire remains active here at 8 a.m. We're live on your side on this breaking news on the Far East Side near Blacklick. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
All right, let's reset here.
Good Day Columbus on Fox 28 starts with this breaking news alert.
It is 8:29 here on your Wednesday, October 18th. We are following breaking news.
A man and woman rushed to the hospital very early this morning after fire broke out at their home in northeastern Columbus near Blacklick. The woman in critical condition. A staircase collapsed on firefighters who were briefly trapped, but they were able to get out on their own with no injuries.
Here's a live look at where the fire began. Here's the scene. An investigation underway right now to find out what led to all of this. The Red Cross arrived this morning to help the family affected. Today there will be a...
It's incredible. It's incredible that entire building is still standing, any part of it.
A home destroyed and two people rushed to the hospital after an early morning fire in Far East Columbus. That house also turned into a trap for firefighters. ABC 6's Mike McCarthy explains the danger and the quick action to escape.
Firefighters came to this condo complex on a call for help, not knowing they'd be making their own Mayday call minutes later. Flames weren't the only challenge for firefighters overnight. Thick smoke made it hard to see and made neighbors wonder,
I live right at the end of this street.
what just happened?
About 3:05 or so, there was just a loud explosion. We literally had stuff fall.
The line of trucks led Greg Green to the nearby burning home at the McNeil Farms condos on the Far East Side, and the discovery that two of his neighbors, a man and a woman, had escaped, but not unharmed.
They were transported to OSU, one of them in critical condition.
And they sat there for a while just working on her. So it was insane.
And it turned out the concerns were not over. Firefighters faced some scary moments of their own. When they were inside this home searching it, they encountered some holes in the floor, and then part of a staircase collapsed right on top of them. A Mayday call went out, but they ended up not needing to be rescued. A battalion chief says that's because of the specific training they received for that dangerous situation.
You know, they're always prepared. We train on that a lot for that moment, and because of the training, it worked out well.
By the time the flames were gone, questions were smoldering about the cause and what was that explosion neighbors heard.
It's incredible. It's incredible that entire building is still standing, any part of it.
The challenge for firefighters now, finding the answers. Firefighters did stop the flames from spreading beyond this end unit, but they say the Red Cross was still called out to help a couple of neighbors because of damage their homes received from smoke and also from efforts to put out the fire. On your side in Far East Columbus near Blacklick, Mike McCarthy, ABC 6 News.
Fall is